5RM.
Well, here we go. The finals are about to get underway, and it's time to cross over to Lachlan Winnell and Nobby. How you doing, guys?
Very well, thanks, Trevor Scott. Great job as always in the Connectus 5RM Sideline View studio. Loxton is, it was bathed in sunshine, but at the moment we've got a little bit of overcast conditions that have drifted in. The conditions don't matter for Nobby Norton, though, because he's an all-weather specialist. He's the all-terrain tyre of commentators. Nobby Norton, good afternoon.
What a wrap. Hello, Lachlan Winnell. Hello, Trevor Scott, and hello, everyone tuned in today.
G'day, mate.
Hey, Trev, I turned up here today into Loxton, looked at the crowd, cars parked literally from the mill corner through to the main street. I thought I was turning up to the grand final. There is literally people everywhere.
Yep. This combination of both the footy and all of the netball being there as well, it's just outstanding. And of course, tomorrow you add on to the soccer. So, yeah.
Yep, headquarters for us tomorrow, Trev. But here at Loxton Oval today, we've just seen a fantastic game in the seconds, just caught the end of the seconds. And as does happen in finals sometimes, the Loxton seconds have knocked off the previously undefeated Barmera Monash seconds and to go straight into the grand final. But for Barmera, if you're going to lose a game in a season you haven't, probably the one you want to lose is the second semi, because you've got a chance to come back and make amends. So that was an interesting game of footy, wasn't it, Lockie?
Yeah, it certainly was. Look, a lot of noise, and as you mentioned, the grand final atmosphere today, very true. A great game of seconds nonetheless, and the A grade at the moment, they're on the field warming up. We have one late change for the Renmark Rovers, and that is Zach Gartrey out today. In comes Caden Gartrey. So we were just chatting off air, Nobby, that's a big out for the Rovers.
It certainly is. So it's Gartrey for Gartrey, but Zach Gartrey, as we talked about in some of our preview previously, Zach was the number one country ruckman in South Australia last year, representing SA country at the national champs. So a big out for them. But Zach Hayden has pulled the boots on for the Rovers in the ones previously, and whilst perhaps not quite a like-for-like replacement, very close to, the other player that's currently missing from the Rovers lineup is Alex Haynes, who'll be greatly missed with Zach Gartrey out, because he was the backup in ruck. So realistically, Renmark go into today's game without a recognised ruckman. Yeah. A-grade ruckman.
Yeah, certainly a big out, Nobby. And that's Alex has been out for a couple of weeks now. Yep. A couple of other ins and outs to note from Barmera Monash. We'll run through them first. So do have Johnny Beach back in the side. Out goes Watke. That's a big out. Also, Brad Barnes goes back to the reserves.
Yeah, Watke played very well the last time we saw Barmera Monash, which was against Renmark, I reckon, at Barmera Monash. If he wasn't their best player, he was certainly in their top three. So, once again, that's an out. But
another in for the Roos too, Mitch Wellington, which is a big in from last week's game. Just quickly for the Rovers, in today, Jared Rowe, Brodie Rover and Lucas White. Out from last week, Liam Jackson, Nathan Zunic and Matt Smith. So between Zunic and Liam Jackson, there's a lot of goals between them this year.
Yeah, well, those are a couple of players who I would label as wild cards in the Renmark side. And if anyone's going to turn it on and in a burst, and change the result of a game, probably Zunic is one, and Jackson certainly knows how to get in and get his hands dirty and kick a goal when they really need one. But anyway, it is what it is, Lockie, and we have Barmera Monash, who finished minor premiers, coming in today against the Rovers, and we know both these teams have a very healthy rivalry, having played off in last year's grand final, and they're looking the same, heading the same way today, unless either Wakery or Loxton can upset the apple cart, and we'll see that tomorrow.
Yeah, looking forward to that semi-final tomorrow, as a lot of people are as well. Just as we mentioned, going through the final warm-ups as we speak. Good crowd in attendance. What would you say? The Roos on paper, that's not far off a full-strength team. I'm going to say that's over 95% capacity.
I think that is almost their best side they can put on the ground, with the exception of
Watke and Dane Austin.
Yeah, and also don't forget Trent Ogle, who went around in the under-18s today and was a member of their premiership side last year. So,
but I guess if we talk about those players and the players that are in, it's going to be a like-for-like replacement. Within reason.
Pretty much, and that's how both sides are treating their ins and outs, I think, at this time of the year. You lose a small forward, you look for another one. You lose a ruckman or a tall player, you look for another tall player. And it's pretty much how it should be.
True. The Rovers then, somewhat on the back foot before this game gets underway?
Look, I think they'll come in reasonably comfortable that they are the underdogs. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the game starts and how hard they hit the ball, because I think it'll be a game of getting the ball forward as quick as you can. We've got two key forwards here. One for Renmark, the leading goal kicker for the year, Nick Gillard, who finished on 44 goals at the end of the minor round. And for Barmera Monash, we have John O'Beach, who finished with 42. So my thought process is that whichever side can get that ball forward quickly and the most often gives their forwards a chance to get on the board, and those two guys in particular. I'm looking forward. You know what I'm really looking forward to, Lockie, as an influence in the game? Both the coaches.
Okay.
Renmark coach Josh Vader, who we know can hit the ball hard in the middle, normally when he's getting the service of Zach Gartery. Interesting to see how he goes today. He's capable of bursting out of the middle with the ball and giving his forwards the best chance. And on the other side of the coin, we have Fraser Sampson, formerly a Renmark Premiership player and now a Barmera Monash Premiership player and coach, and the way he tends to mop the ball up across half-back with the captain, Sam Butterworth. It'll be interesting to see whether both those players get a man so they don't get even to rebounds, because Renmark will be more looking to attack from in the middle. Barmera will be looking to attack on the slingshot off half-back.
Did a bit of analysis on the goals between the two sides, and I'll be in an interesting one. Barmera Monash, John O'Beach, he's played the 9 games this year.
Yep.
Slotted 42 goals. It's 28% of Barmera Monash's total goals for the year.
So more than 1 in 4.
Yeah. So that's obviously a big in. And if you look at the next closest after that, it's very low. We're talking 6%.
Yeah. Well, is that good or is it not? You know.
Well, it's good if he's fitting on the field.
Yeah. Well, look, he's a quality player, and I'm tipping he'll probably kick 28% of their score again today.
Well, we'll run the numbers after the game, shall we? Yeah. How does that sound?
Renmark's goal is if he does kick 28%, to make sure it's 28% of a low score. Hey, Barmera going to the Mill Corner end, or the Berry end this time, starting the game, and that is the goal-scoring end with a very slight advantage of a breeze.
Here we go, the game underway here at Loxton, second semi-final. Umpire Tony Florence says we'll go that again. That didn't go too far. So what are we thinking here? It hasn't gone too far once again. Both teams scrapping for it, and that's about as far as we're going to go.
Well, Caden Gartery getting his hand on the ball already, but unfortunately not going to advantage of the Renmark side.
Back in the middle it is. Jake Smith, Drogamala tries to run through. Now Barmera Monash get a couple of metres spare, and a loose handball goes over the painted 50, paddled forward. Renmark defenders trying to mop it up. They hold it in, and we'll have a ball up here at Loxton.
Already the Barmera showing it what they're about. They're going through the ball, running through it with their body over it. Unfortunately, Brody Rover couldn't quite get his body over that one and hold him out, so the ball up at half forward for Barmera. Renmark come out with it. Wolford with the ball in his hands, wrapped up, will be another ball up.
It is second semi-final action here at Loxton.
That was Tim Wolford, only one of the wonderful Wolfords.
Just on a minute gone on the Barmera Club clock this afternoon. Through the middle it is.
Jared Rowe with the kick out of the middle there. Went to Ricky Garrett, who didn't quite take possession of the ball and was wrapped up by his Barmera player. Will get a free kick for holding the man without the ball. Renmark about to take their first move forward. Comes wide to the wing. Comes out to Mitchell Jenke. He's right in front of the commentary position here. Dead set on centre wing. Looks up, shoots the ball short, and finds Declan Johnson on the chest. Takes another mark. Still haven't got past the front of the forward 50.
A calculated approach from the Rovers as always. Just taking a bit of time. Young Declan Johnson here. Looks to the wide of the 50. Doesn't take the mark, and that's Matt Wolford on the bottom, and we'll get a ball up.
That was AJ Hem went in for that contest, wearing some interesting kit across his nose. Nice big bandage.
Just looking what's going on here. So tap from Tim Wolford doing a bit of the ruck work.
That's Matt Wolford in underneath with it, and Dan Wolford trying to get out of the pack with it. There's the trifecta of wonderful Wolfords already.
We've had the 3. Ball up. Renmark's half forward. Trying to mop it up was Vader. He was wrapped up by Wilden from the Roos, and we'll have another ball up.
I think this will make Renmark happy to make it a contest game, because they fancy themselves in the contest.
Doesn't go too far from that one. And if your theory's correct, this next one should be play on. Lovey Norton, 5-room football for the Riverland Motor Group. Second semi-final.
Yeah, that was Tim Wolford in trying to earn the hard ball. He is in ruck, actually, Lockie. You're right. He's taken the ruck in the forward play.
So certainly not someone we are used to seeing in the ruck, but...
In goes Caden Gartery now to take the hit out. Out to Tim Wolford. Gets it onto the left foot, but not to any advantage.
Out to Wilden on half-back for the Roos, but now the Rovers. Garrett couldn't quite mop it up. Now he does. Ricky Garrett, handball to Jared Rowe. Rowe from 12 metres out, roughly speaking. Has he slotted it? He hasn't.
He has for 1 point. That was a bit of a mongrel punt there. The difficult place to kick a goal at the Loxton Oval in that deep forward pocket at the Pine Avenue end or the swimming pool end.
Right place.
Yep. Good burst of play. Got clear. Garrett already getting some important touches for Renmark.
It's the Rovers with the first score of the day. 1 point on the Value Care scoreboard. Now the Roos try to move this one out of their defence. Couple of calculated passes up to half-back. Spills over the back, and that's going to go out of bounds, and I reckon the Rovers will get a free kick, and they will.
Yeah, all Rovers at this stage holding the ball into their forward 50 and sort of set it up. Barmera will have to move the ball quickly to get out of there and try and get it rolling.
Garrett on half-forward. Over the top, finds Johnson on his own.
Interesting that there is not a player Barmera Monash side of the centre.
Centres the footy. It dropped short, but AJ Hem picked it up. That was smothered. Now Brody Rover tried to run through. Mason Middleton for the Roos mops it up, but he ran into a wall and will have a ball up. 40 out from the Rovers goal.
Junkyard Jake Smith, the only player ahead of the centre square, centre circle for Barmera Monash.
So another ball up.
A tight game in shoes.
It certainly does. 4.5 minutes gone. First quarter Riverland footy on 5RM. Rucks flew up. Good clearance from the Barmera Monash Roos. It's made it up to the far wing. Not able to take the mark. Now the Rovers again go on the rebound. Handball to space. Drifting wide. That was Chris Bonney that took that one over the line. I reckon just got a hands on it before it went over.
That was Ben Drugamuller got that burst out of the pack for Barmera and found Jake Smith. He couldn't quite reel it in.
So a ball in on the far wing here at Loxton. Second semi-final. Good throw in. Tap forward from Caden Gartree. Now the Rovers go on the attack. That was Harrison Brown. Dropped short. But the Rovers now. Declan Johnson over the painted 50. Can't quite find the target. Rhett Perry's in the pocket. This is going to the boundary line and it's gone over.
Good contest there up forward between Perry and his immediate opponent, which I think is Freeman, I reckon. Lockie in the back lines there.
Just have a quick look.
It is Freeman, yep. Jordan Freeman.
So ball in the Rovers forward pocket. Tim Wolford, good tap forward. Vader, socket off the deck, and it's hit the target in Gillard.
Yeah, you got to feel for Saxton Mitchell there because there was nothing he could do about that. That was hit first time out of the air and hit him right in the breadbasket.
That's like almost a caught and bowled that you weren't expecting that one.
Absolutely. And is this going to be the first goal of the match, Lockie? You would expect so with Nick Gillard, the leading goal kicker, the RFL leading goal kicker.
Gillard now 15 metres out.
No trouble with that.
That's the first goal of the day.
Takes Renmark to 1-1-7, leading Barmera Monash yet to score. So already he's in front.
Yep, leading for today. 6.5 minutes gone. First quarter Riverland footy on 5RM.
Sustained pressure there by Renmark Rovers, keeping that ball on their forward line for all of 3 minutes that have gone already. And they've had most of it up forward. But in saying that, only one goal has resulted.
Yeah, Declan Johnson putting his name up pretty early for the Young Charger Award for Hoops Auto and Full Drive Centre Renmark.
Sure is. Middleton into the ruck for Barmera.
A good tap. Tim Wolford read it well. Now Vader, booming kick into the forward 50. It's going to hit the deck. And now Ricky Garrett, he was wrapped up without it, holding the ball. That's the call. Umpire says bring it back.
Well, he did get turned 360, and it was probably an incorrect disposal more so than holding the ball, but same result.
Too true. Probably,
it was a chaos ball in from Vader.
Yeah. Probably fortunate the Roos defender stopped the tackle when he did, because after that might have been a free the other way.
Rowe in front. Pulls second bite, couldn't bring it down. Renmark again with the football. Driven in by Vader again to the goal square. Gillard couldn't bring that in. That was a better effort by Saxton Mitchell. Got the spoil in, and Barmera bring the ball clear from half-back.
Aiden Lyon finds
Justin Bonney there.
Bonney goes inboard, finds Spilios. Haven't seen him much today. Now getting into the game. He's one to watch this afternoon.
I think Trevor Thorpe's got the gig on him. He looks like the Renmark veteran.
That went over the back of Dan Wesley. Van Wilden, he tried to run through 3 Rovers, and umpire says my ball. And we'll get a ball up grandstand wing here at Loxton.
Just trying to pick up some of those matchups. There's players moving everywhere here at the moment. It's a bit like a game of chess.
I don't think...
Thorpe with the handball to Garrett. To Wolford, who hit Garrett. Garrett finds Rowe out on the wing. Running for him. Wolford.
Oh, precision pass. Oh, it was just out of bounds.
Yeah, Harrison Brown couldn't bring that in, and the boundary up right on the spot and made the correct call there.
So Fraser Sampson, booming kick to the wing. Dan Wesley's been done for hands in the back and a push, and I reckon that was there every day of the week.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Thorpe already starting the game well, the Renmark Rovers veteran. Been here a few times before. Hits Harrison Brown on the chest at the wing in front of Sampson.
They're 1-1-7, the Rovers. Barmera Monash yet to score. 9 minutes now gone, first quarter.
Renmark started very well, keeping the pressure on Barmera by keeping the ball up their end of the ground.
They get back. Gillard was the target. Found Middleton for the ruse. He handballed, and now Ricky Garrett's going to run in for a goal. Is he? No, misses the lot.
He looked to pass it off to Perry, and it's still in.
Yeah, wow, that's gone right. That's bended right back in. Still in play, in dispute. Umpire says my ball.
Excellent effort by the big fella Perry. He got around. He's got a reasonable turning circle for a big fella.
That probably ended up all right for the Rovers there. So unconventional, but that's all right.
Here we go. Through the pack comes Wolford. Centres the ball. Can't find anyone from Renmark. Gee, the tackling's good from the Rovers. They are keeping the pressure right on the Barmera defenders.
Yeah, it was Declan Johnson again having a good crack there. So a ball up, 25 out from Renmark's goal. Tap from the ruse to space. Can they run on and clear it out? They can. That was Bonney, I reckon it was. But now the Rovers just on half back. They're going to get a turnover. Oh, what, play on advantage is the call? No, umpire's going to bring it back.
Spilios to take the free kick at half back for Barmera. Looks up and finds his teammate, which is Fletcher Dillon actually. Goes out wide. They shoot the ball in, and what a great pass to Beach.
And that's a good lead-up target for John O'Beach, and he's takes that every day of the week.
Yeah, you can't give him that sort of time. And he was one-on-one, so you'd back him in every time, almost one-on-one.
So we're going to see another shot. This could be Barmera Monash's first scoring opportunity here, proper.
Yeah, the big fella Middleton coming to the bench, being replaced by Jack Austin. Goes on against his former side and in straight into the ruck.
Ball on the way from Beach. He doesn't miss many. And that's the second goal of the day in total, but the first for Barmera Monash. They bring the margin back down to 1.
Yeah, not only is he exceeding his normal 28% of their score, Lockie, but Barmera Monash, they've only been inside their 50 twice for 1 goal, whereas Renmark had the majority of this play so far in their forward line, unable to put it on the scoreboard. Plenty of opportunity, but no clear opportunities.
Thorpe coming off for a quick rest. Vader back on.
Yeah, Vader going into the half-back line, into defence. So he's going on to Dan Wesley, who's dragged him all the way back to the goal square. And to be honest with you, that's where I'd like to have Vader if I was Barmera Monash, in the defensive goal square.
Back to the middle.
Wolford.
Now Matt Wolford backed into traffic, handballed straight to his opponent. And Sam Butterworth with it on the deck, and we'll get a ball up. Just on 12 minutes gone. First quarter Riverland footy on 5RM.
Up the ball goes again. Into ruck. Austin gets his hand on it. Umpire says, I'll have it again. That was Matthew Wilden took the ball but couldn't break free of the pack, being tackled by Tim Wolford.
Renmark, can they make something out of this? That went about 2 metres, and we'll get another ball up.
Yeah, Dan Wolford copping one high there, but it was friendly fire. It was one of his teammates. He got up rubbing his head, wondering why the umpire didn't pay it. That was because it was one of your own.
So Garrett out of the pack, just bombs it into the attacking 50 for the Rovers. It goes over the back. Good little tap from Hem inboard. Can the Rovers make something out of this? finds Harrison Brown and kicks on the way. Has that rolled through? I don't think it has. That was Jenke.
That was a wonderful spoil by Aidan Lyon there. That's the 100%. That is worth a goal because it saved Renmark a goal.
So just the one behind.
Takes Renmark to 1 goal, 2 8 points, leading Barmera Monash 1 goal, a 2-point lead to the Rovers. Oh, nice kick clear, finds Jack Austin at halfback, takes a very strong mark, looks up, pokes it across to the middle, finds Spilios all on his own, but holds the ball up, is looking for options. Goes out wide again in the Beach direction. Beach couldn't pull that one in, but gets the ball down, and through goes Ben Drugamuller, straight onto the boot, drives it forward to no one. Vader mops up here. That ball overshot Wesley. Vader comes out on the switch and finds Lucas White on the halfback flank for Renmark.
White bombs it on quickly, finds Brown. He got the handball quickly to Garrett. Garrett's looking for Gillard, unable to mark it, and not a bad bit of play there from Saxton Caddy.
Yeah, good. A lot of defensive, good defensive play by Gillard too. Knew he couldn't get it, wasn't going to let him mark it, but the young fella is right next door to him.
So ball in, tap forward from Caden Gartree, but it's gone straight to Wilden. He handballed to Thomas, who spilt it out. Now the Rovers are going to go on the rebound through Matt Wolford into the attacking 50 and a good mark.
Lovely kick from Wolford.
Mitch Jenke with the footy just on the 50.
Has a player all on his own on the far side.
Goes wide and manages to find Lucas White.
He's covered a bit of ground, Lucas.
Gets it on quickly and finds Gillard on not quite his own, but a couple of metres spare, and you can't afford to do that in daylight today.
Yeah, there'd been a switch in play, and Freeman was then on to Gillard with Saxon Mitchell going onto AJ Hem, a player more his size. But in the switch, Gillard lost them all and took an easy lead and took the mark. So at this stage we got Gillard 1, Beach 1, and that's pretty much the score.
So Gillard, fair angle and a fair kick, and that's a minor score.
Another behind for the Rovers, taking the 1 goal 3-9, leading Barmera Monash 1 straight goal. You can't help but think the Rovers could be blowing a few chances here.
Yeah, the Value Care scoreboard attendance not really working too hard as yet. Kick out quickly from the Roos. That's gone straight out, clean bowled, out of bounds. No one touched that.
Well, Barmera play a hand up saying he got a wick on it, and the umpire's with him, and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
Tell you what, that's a bit like a third umpire in cricket in some cricketing nations, that one.
Yeah, I know what'll be happening in the big game. They'll be going to the camera for that one. Yes, but I'll get you.
Yeah. Ball in, doesn't matter because the Rovers have got the clearance anyway. Tim Wolford into the attacking 50, good kick. Spills over the back. Couldn't quite mop it up, didn't they?
AJM, there it is. There's the goal of the day, first entrant, Lockie.
AJ Ham, the very better goal of the day clubhouse leader, takes the score out to 15 for the Rovers.
Yeah, it wasn't just a wonderful bit of sharking the ball off the pack, but it was a nice little poke through the middle there, dodged a couple and got the ball onto his left foot and kicked the goal. Lovely goal.
2 goals, 3 Renmark, leading Barmera Monash just the 1 goal. 16 minutes gone on the Barmera Club time clock, and there's always time to visit the Barmera Club. Yeah,
credit to I'm just looking for the forward. Credit to Rhett Perry there, who put his body in and created that spill, that ball for AJM to grab hold of. So well done by him. Up goes Gartery again, gets his hand on Rowe running onto it. Gets the handball back. Almost had to push his teammate out the way. The ball comes loose for Barmera to half back. They can't clear it off half back. Renmark keeping the pressure on. Ball goes across to Butterworth, looks up and finds a teammate all on his own. Drives it out wide to the wing to a one-on-one. Lovely mark taken out there by Fletcher Dillon. Renmark player holds him up. He's up on his feet looking for someone short. Keeping hold of the footy, Barmera.
So we're going to get a...
Now they go in long, looking for Beach again. Well spoiled there by Harry Beavis. There'll be a boundary throw in the right forward pocket, in the scoreboard forward pocket at the mill corner end.
This is 5-run football for the Riverland Motor Group, and the Ranger and Everest in stock for immediate delivery. Yeah.
Wolford in with the ball, sticks it on his left foot. Jake Smith putting his body in there, getting Wolford Tim getting Jared Rowe out of the way, but the ball goes to ground. Free kick to umpire, just shielding his number. I reckon it was Ricky Garrett again. No, it wasn't. It was Dan Wolford, who shoots it out wide to a teammate right in front of the scoreboard.
So Lucas White with the footy gets kick away
with the 7-iron. Plenty of height in that.
Over the back, Barmera and Monash managed to mop it up. Inboard comes the footy and looking for Fraser Douglas. Not a bad mark on the cricket pitch.
It's typical Barmera play to look up and look in the middle for someone on their own. You'd be thinking if you're Renmark, you cannot afford to let an opponent get across on his own. He goes forward, but only as far as Bailey White this time, I think, Lockie. Oh, turns it over. Oh, almost critical.
And Renmark's defence, as always, precision. That was...
Timmy Blight took a bit of time to get it on his boot, but they get the ball clear at half-back.
Now they move it on quickly. Jake Smith manages to take the intercept for the Barmera Monash Roos, kicks over the top and finds Ben Drugamullah with a bit of space. Yeah, got the footy 70 from home.
A couple of turnovers there from Renmark when they're trying to bring that ball out of defence.
Gets it on quickly to the top of the square. That's gone over the back. And Blight manages to mop it up and no score whatsoever.
Finds Tim Wolford in a bit of space out in front of the scoreboard, looks up onto his left and hits Declan Johnson out there on the wing.
So Decky Johnson with the footy. Scoreboard wing. Goes inboard to Lucas White. Just holds station for a second. Now goes back to where it just about came from.
They're playing wax, those two guys, boosting their stats but not getting the ball any closer to the goals.
Well, over 19 minutes gone. No real breeze either favouring each end, so no real scoring advantage, one would think.
Renmark keeping possession here. Almost looks like they're playing for quarter time, and I think if they went in with this score going into the breeze, they'd be pretty comfortable. Nice kick up the wing. Renmark player takes the mark all on his own, all in front of his man by a couple of metres. Looks up, looks wide again. This time towards Tim Wolford, who couldn't grab it, but the ball comes off hands. And through in it goes from Renmark. Oh, a nice little shove there from Gillard. But it must have been in the side because it's play on.
And we will get a ball in. Is that what we're going to get here?
Yes, we are.
So a ball in. 40 around from the Rovers' goal. Currently lead 15 playing 6 on the Value Care scoreboard.
With Renmark having most of the attacking.
So ball in. No one really was able to pick it up first go. Now Fraser Douglas for the Roos. Has a crack. Finds Sampson. Sampson kicks down the line looking for Middleton, but he was unable to mark it, and that's been intercepted by Harry Beavis of the Rovers.
Yeah, who followed Beach up the ground, and he's outmarked him.
So Beavis gets it on quickly, right to the middle of the 50. And it was a good mark attempt from Gillard, but it was spoiled. Now the Rovers managed to pick up the crumbs out to Thorpe. Thorpe was able to pick it up over the painted 50. It's a bit of a mess, but it's moving forward until the Roos managed to get their hands on it. And that was Sam Butterworth that just kicked it as quickly as he could. That was Wesley. Wesley went the man and not the ball there. Umpires let that one go.
Well, you know, you do something like in the AFL and you could end up with 4 or 5 matches for that because he had no intention of getting the footy.
As soon as you take your eyes off the ball, that's when you get in trouble. Anyway, play on is the call. Kick you up in the air, bit of a 9-iron kick, and manages to find Anspatch. And we'll go a bit of a turnover.
He'll come wide here. He's waiting for a lead wide to the boundary line, and he gets it. Coming out wide, 3-on-1, and the big fella reaches in. The big fella reaches in, Middleton, but Declan Johnson had been manhandled by his direct opponent. That's 50 metres. Because Middleton has handballed that ball to Fraser Douglas, who's his own teammate, instead of giving it back to the Renmark player.
Umpire was directing traffic there. So that would have been a BTS cooling mark of the day contender for me. I guess he still took the mark.
Only 25 metres. I don't know if I'd like to be buying any real estate off Mac Drummer.
That's 25-metre penalties, Nobby.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I don't even reckon that was 25. I reckon it's more
Johnson
like 15.
has his shot, kicks to the top of the 50, top of the square, and that's gone.
Yeah, what I was saying,
right.
As a 25, that was still short.
Okay. I thought you were thinking it was a short 50.
Not at all.
It's been 25 for a couple of years.
Yeah, I was working on the fact that it's
good.
It's about 60 metres from goal, and he ended up kicking it from 40.
Just to reiterate, it is 25, but if it's significant enough, it can be 2.
Yep.
So you still can give a 50.
Here we go. Off the wing come Renmark yet again, this time through Morgan Edwards. Shoots the ball forward, but cut out by Butterworth again. picking up a lot of touches across half-back, but not using the ball because he's having to kick to a contest every time. Barmera used to Butterworth picking up that ball and moving it wide to someone on their own and running it through that half-back line. Renmark aren't allowing that space.
I was just about to say that. Every Barmera Monash game we've done this year, we would have rattled off Sam Butterworth's name probably a good 10 times by now, and we haven't seen him a lot at this point.
And there we go. There's the quarter-time siren with Renmark leading 2-4-16 to Barmera Monash, one straight goal, a 10-point lead to the Roos. That's the Rovers.
This is 5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group. We must cross back to the Sideline View studio with Trevor Scott and find out what is happening around the place. Some other sports happening today, plus the Murray Valley finals as well. Trevor Scott, back to you. Oxton this afternoon, Trevor Scott. It is the second semi-final. The winner of this straight through to the grand final. Renmark Rovers currently with the early advantage, 2-4-16, leading Barmera Monash just the 1-6. Nobby Norton, your thoughts?
Yeah, goal kickers for Renmark. Nick Gillard with the first goal of the game. AJ Him with what we've got down as the goal of the day. And for Barmera Monash, John O'Beach with their solitary goal. Look, some good players for both sides. For Renmark, Vader, Mitchell Jenke, Ricky Garrett had plenty of it. Declan Johnson did a bit, and Lucas White held up very well across half-back. Barmera Monash, Ben Drugamlow good, Fletcher Dillon had his moments, Paul Spilios was good in the middle, and Sam Butterworth towards the end of that quarter started to pick up some possessions. Probably the most interesting thing in the game so far is Renmark had the majority of the ball in their forward lines, only come away with 2-4. I guess you could be disappointed with that, but you could be satisfied that you did have a fair few opportunities. Barmera only took the ball forward on 2 or 3 occasions for the one goal. It was a nice mark by Beach and a good conversion.
Yeah, efficiency, but as you say, a couple of times into the attacking 50 and, yeah, not really getting away with too much with that one, which was a bit unfortunate. Teams now leaving the coaches' addresses and heading back to their respective spots on the field.
Yeah, look, Lockie, we saw the collision in front of us by Dan Wesley on a Renmark opponent, and where he didn't even make the ball the object of his attack, but the body, and it was right in front of the reserve umpires and the umpire panel down here in front of us. So it'll be interesting to see if anything comes out of that. I think probably not, because the Renmark player got up and played on. Had the Renmark player been injured or taken from the ground injured, it might have been a different story.
Certainly an interesting one, Nobby, as we see every week in particularly the AFL. Incidents like that do get quite a bit of attention. So second quarter about to get underway here at Loxton. At the moment it's the Rovers with the early advantage, but as we know, the Roos certainly can kick goals when they have to.
Yeah, qualifying finals, not 1 in 1 quarter, but 1 in 4. Here we go. Renmark, will be interesting to see how they come and what Renmark do, what Barmera do to perhaps bounce back from that quarter.
Back in the middle it is. Five-room football for the Riverland Motor Group. It was Chris Bonney that got the tap, but Tim Wolford for the Rovers read it. He got about 1.5 metres and then was told, hold it up. Sorry, Jack Austin. Back in the middle it is. Now it's Tim Wolford that picks up the crumbs, finds Vader. Vader goes long into the attacking 50. That's going to spill out the back. Gillard soccers it back inside, picks it up off the deck, handballs to a bit of space. Can the Rovers make something out of this? Declan Johnson to the squares. That rolled through.
Touched.
Oh, that would have been the goal of the day.
Spot, but that would have been. But a valiant attempt by AJ Hem to shepherd that, but he couldn't quite keep the Barmera player away from it. Look, once again, Vader getting a dominant possession out of the middle of the ground. It's becoming quite a factor for the Rovers.
So back in the middle, back in the defence for the Barmera Monash Roos.
Out towards Freeman. Spoils his opponent there. Spoils his teammate Aidan Lyon there. And the ball goes out of bounds off hands. A little bit of push and shove here at the throw-in. Barmera have come out trying to assert themselves at least physically on this game, if not with the footy.
So a ball in. 60 around from the Renmark Rovers goal. Certainly had a lot of the control of the footy so far this afternoon.
Yeah, Jared Rowe doing a lot of the grunt work in over the footy for the Rovers, and he won't stop. Him and Ricky Garrett doing a fair bit in around the stoppages. Garrett sucks off the back of this pack, looking for the ball out the back. He's all on his own. This time Tim Wolford with it, drives it down the middle towards the goal square.
Whoa.
Up goes Gillard, couldn't get a hand on it. Who should come through? AJ Hem across to Vader, sidesteps one, gets it on the boot, but misses the goals by about 30 metres to the left. Dangerous looking outfit today with Vader getting plenty of the footy around the middle. What's going on here? The ump's waving his hands a bit.
So we're going to get
a boundary thrown. Must have been touched off the boot from Vader, I think. The kick from Vader must have been touched off the boot, hence that's why it missed the goals by so much, perhaps.
Interesting one. So a ball in, 15 around from the Rovers goal, now kicking to the Bookpanong Road end. That was Gillard that tried to take the clearance, didn't get too far, and we'll have a ball up 45 out from the Rovers goal. Yeah,
consistent work here by the umpires, not inserting themselves at all, just making sure that only the obvious ones getting paid, rewarding the player going in for the hard ball. Drugamulloch breaks clear of the pack, gets it on the boot, but straight out of bounds on the full. Free kick to be taken by Tim Wolford, left half forward for Renmark, going towards the Bookpanong Road end.
We'll call it the railway station end, Nobby. Let's okay. Pay a bit of homage to the past, shall we?
Left foot screw punt there, off hands, carried through for another behind by Butterworth. By a Barmera player. Handballs the ball to Butterworth to bring it back into play. He plays on, brings it back out to this side of the ground, towards Middleton. Couldn't get a handle on it. Rowe in there hard and forces the ball across the boundary line for another stoppage. Renmark liking this stoppage play, Lockie.
Lock it down. 18 plays 6 on the Value Care scoreboard. Ball in. 70 around from the Rovers goal. Tap forward from Jack Austin. Found Wilden. He got a little kick away. Drogamulla was trying to pick it up. Butterworth ran over the top. Tackle from the Rovers. That was Rowe. And it's been paid a dangerous tackle.
Yeah, the motion was there, but the player was actually put down on the ground. Didn't hit his head. He still had the ball in his arms.
Yeah.
But I suppose the motion was there.
And,
there we go. There's a mark of the day for us, Lockie, by Caden Gartery, a little one-hander. Might put that on the list. That's the first bit of action we've had in the air.
On the intercepts, just drives it into the attacking 50. Oh, Barmera player went for the mark and he was bumped from underneath, and there's a little bit of argy-bargy out there.
Well, that'd be tunnelling in basketball terms, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just seeing what's going on out there. It's going to be the Roos with the free. And
that was Justin Bonney who received that treatment and will take this free kick deep in defence for Barmera Monash. Looks across the ground. Finds Jamison Whitbourne, who looks up. Finds a teammate. He plays on straight away. Handball's back to Whitbourne. He gets the ball onto his boot. Shoots it out to the scoreboard side. 2 Renmark players on one. That goes to Dan Wolford. Handballs across to Jenke. Gets the ball on. Shoots it deep into the attack. Another chaos ball. Tim Wolford runs onto this loose ball. Fakes a handball. Looks up. Takes a shot at goal. And I reckon...
Umpire says play on.
Hasn't made the line yet. Picked up by Gillard, who has just reclaimed goal of the day from AJ Hem. The touch, was it?
Oh, minor
my
score.
goodness.
Unlucky, but that would have been the very better goal of the day.
It's now the Nobby Norton point of the day because it was touched.
I like it. 5 minutes, nearly 5.5 minutes gone. Second quarter Riverland footy on 5RM for the Riverland Motor Group.
Gillard with 1 goal too. Definitely a dangerous player in that Renmark forward line.
Thomas Austin is coming off for a quick rest for the Roos. Got the bus station lineup of changeovers about to happen. Through the middle it is.
Mark.
Good mark.
This time Bonnie, I think, Lockie, yep.
Yeah, it is.
Chris Bonnie.
Sorry, that is Austin again. That's a mix-up for the ages, that one. Over the back. Can the Roos make something out of this? Running into the goals. Fletcher Dillon puts the second goal for the Roos, the first of the quarter. And they're back in the hunt. That could have been a very exciting passage of play.
Yeah, well called, Lockie. A great play there from Austin, and had an influence while he was on ball. Has just come off for a spell.
So Fletcher Dillon, just the kick to space. Dillon able to run onto it. Jared Rowe was trying to chase him down, but Fletcher Dillon just had that little bit of space and able to keep in front, steady, didn't panic.
The young fella having
a lovely goal.
Young fella having a big influence on the game. Got a few important touches in the first quarter, and now kicks their second goal to bring them back within 7 points of Renmark, and they are just points, all points.
Yeah, 19 plays, 12 on the Value Care scoreboard.
Middleton thumps the ball forward, straight towards Bonnie at centre half forward. Could not get it free, and that'll be another ball up. That was Chris Bonnie at centre half forward. This time Renmark with the tap out. Through comes Ricky Garrett again. Shoots the ball forward. Plenty of space here for Renmark. Onto his boot, Bailey White. Shoots it up to centre half forward.
Loose footy out the back as Thomas gets a handball out to Justin Bonney. Finds a teammate on the far back flank.
Barmera have settled here, starting to play their game with a rebound off half-back to Spilios on the wing. Shoots the handball out towards Wesley. Looks up, has a loose one. It's Chris Bonney, takes it on the half volley. Didn't take it one hand, so it's play on.
Back to the middle, and the Rovers managed to pick up the rebound, and they move it quickly inboard. Declan
lovely
Johnson,
pick up.
handball to Thorpe, somewhat slipped it, and now the Roos go against Spilios. Up to half forward, looking for a teammate in Wilden. Wilden plays on, just bombs it to the middle of the 50. Hasn't really got a target there. And umpires called a free kick for a push, I think.
Yeah, Renmark will take the free kick, looks up, shoots the ball out wide to Harrison Brown on half back. He has 2 options here. Takes the... He telegraphed that, and it was cut off. That ball was cut off by Jamison Whitbourne. You have to get up a little bit earlier to fool him. Now Renmark shoot the ball out of defence. They have the numbers on the far side now. Thorpe handballs over the top to Declan. It's found its way all the way forward to Declan Johnson at half forward.
Johnson moves it on quickly.
Turnover again.
But yeah, finds Jack Albrett. Somewhat in a bit of space in defence. So Jack just holding up things for a second here.
Game being played between the 2 half-back lines. Too many turnovers taking the ball forward. This time he looks up, finds Fraser Brown. He says, I'm going down the middle this time. No, switches wide. Sets the task for Justin Bonney and Rowe. Right on his hammer. Bonney gets clear of him. Sorry, it's not Bonney. It's Aidan Lyon. And then muffs the handball and Rowe's back in it. Yeah,
Jared Rowe on the top of that one, and umpire says my ball. A few Barmera supporters calling for a free kick.
Well played by Rowe, did the hard stuff. probably working himself up in votes in the 5RM trophy for the year, Lockie.
Could be amongst it.
Oh, through goes Garrett at pace. Couldn't break clear. Jack Albrick takes possession, shoots the handball across to Middleton, looks up again, finds Spilios in the middle with a bit of distance. Lovely pass to Chris Bonney. Takes the handball back, shoots it out to Whitbourne again. He looks up and has Mitch Wellington all alone at centre half forward. This would perhaps be his first touch for the game, Lockie.
I haven't seen him too much today, so Mitch Wellington with the ball.
But an important touch, just the same.
What would you say, kicking from 45 out on a, let's say, 22.5 degree angle.
Yeah, and I was
half
thinking...
Half 45.
Yeah. Nice work, Pythagoras.
Yeah, you know the elbows when you're doing plumbing.
Yep.
All right, Mitch Wellington sends it on its way. That looked lovely from here, but it's a minor score.
Brings the score back to Barmera Monash. 2 goals, 1-13, trailing Renmark 2-7-19. 1 goal the difference, but 6 points actually on the scoreboard.
So a minor score for that was the first behind for the Roos today. On the Value Care scoreboard. Now ball up to half back. That's been punched over the boundary line and we'll get a ball in, or no, it's going to be a free kick to the... No, it is going to be a ball in. Bit of a change up. Josh Vader, the Renmark coach, is having a quick rest. And the number 38 of Morgan Edwards just taking his spot. So ball now on the far wing. Couple of messy handballs. A kick, I think that was Wesley off the deck. Manages to find Fletcher Dillon on the painted 50 for the Barmera Monash Roos. Moves it on quickly. And Tim Blight not paid the mark. Handballs forward. Can the Roos make something out of this? John O'Beach, he shook one, he shook two, and he slots it. And that's his second of the day. And he's already at more than 28% of their goals this afternoon.
Yeah, much more than that, Lockie. And Barmera Monash levelling the scores here. 3 goal, 1-19 to Renmark 2-7-19. We're seeing Barmera getting much more efficient with their ball use, particularly off half-back and through the middle, and mixing it up a bit, going down the middle. Bonney becoming a bit of a factor. Chris Bonney at centre-half forward has touched it a couple times as it's gone forward.
So 2-7-19 plays the Barmera Monash Roos 3-1-19 here this afternoon. Second semi-final at Loxton. Ball up in the middle. Tap over the back. Now the Roos are getting their run on again. Butterworth, good kick into the attacking 50. Manages to find John O'Beach. He went the handball and then took all the time he could. Handball back to Austin. Oh, and Harry Beavers flew up there, but punched forward. Now Blight gets it quickly on the boot, in defence, up to half back. It's getting close to the boundary line, but it's going to stay inside and we'll get a ball up.
Looking for Josh Vader, Renmark coach, to exert himself here because on the game, because he slipped out of it a little bit and Barmera have taken control.
12.5 minutes gone. Second quarter Riverland footy on 5RM. Barmera club clock never misses a beat, and there's always time for the Barmera club.
And the other interesting matchup to watch, and I reckon he's getting the better of it, is Paul Spilios shadowing Dan Wolford, and Spilios has had some important possessions for Barmera.
Anspatch for the Rovers on the clearance, up to half forward. Can the Rovers make something out of this? Paddled forward. They're all diving on it, right scoreboard side. Inboard to Harrison Brown for the Rovers, inside the attacking 50. Looking for Gillard. And Hem manages to handball back.
Handball.
And that has slotted through Lucas White. That's the very better goal of the day. They're all having a crack at taking the leaderboard at the moment. Great goal from Lucas White. The Rovers first for the quarter.
Yeah, good play there by AJ Hem. He's actually aided Lucas White in taking the goal of the day away from him. Maybe they can share it. That particular goal. Great play though. And they look dangerous. Every time they get that ball in and get it to ground in the forward lines, Renmark are a huge chance. Whereas Barmera are kind of working for that key kick to Beach or else over the top for an easy goal.
So 3-7-25 plays 3-1-19 on the Value Care scoreboard. Back in the middle. The Roos with the clearance. Now kicking to the pool end. Wellington tapped it over the top.
Bonney
to Bonnie, and Chris Bonnie
snaps out of the pack.
Lovely goal. And that's the Roos third for the quarter.
Yeah, game's opened up a little bit here, and no coincidence that Chris Bonnie started it on top at centre half forward for Barmera Monash, and they've started to go direct down the middle. There's a problem for the Renmark coach, because Chris Bonnie's he's got a good engine for a veteran player. He won't stop running and handles the ball beautifully.
So scores back level. 4-1-25 playing 3-7-25. Barmera Monash slightly more accurate this afternoon. Maybe those missed opportunities for the Rovers might be costly. Back in the middle, Butterworth handballed through a couple now. Spilios still in the middle. Looks wide, looking for Dylan, but it's marked by Josh Vader.
Sat himself on the halfback flank trying to hold things up a bit. This will go to Garrett. To Jenke. He's been a good player for them today across half forward. He's given them a bit of an avenue, albeit wide from the middle.
Jenke drives it into the attacking 50. Gillard unable to mark it, but kept his feet. Now tries to pick it up off the deck, but it's the Roos that managed to get their hands on it and lock it in.
Interesting play there by Gillard, because he didn't take possession of it. Got tackled, was waiting for the tackle. Fortunately, the ump said play it on, which wasn't a bad call.
Back to the ball up. Now Rowe didn't get that far, and we'll go again. This is 5 Room Football for the Riverland Motor Group and the Kia Sportage, now in hybrid. Check it out, Riverland Kia, East Terrace, Loxton. Barmera Monash with the clearance from the ball in, finds Fraser Douglas in the centre square, just telling people to cool the jets a little bit. Slow it down a bit, take a bit of tempo out of it. 16 minutes gone.
Comes wide. Tim Wolford in this one, couldn't bring it in. Almost uncontested mark. Lovely play there by Matt Wolford. Shoots it out to Vader, who drives it deep into the Renmark's attack. 2-on-1 Gillard, but gets the ball to the ground. And that comes back to him.
So Gillard, he had a couple of cracks at trying to pick that up. Now Douglas reefed it out of his hands, but umpire says my ball.
I would say the difference this quarter has been that Renmark have got a bit more fumbly with the ball, and Barmera have handled it quite cleanly, which is quite the opposite to the first quarter.
So it hasn't gone that far this time, and we'll go again.
All tied up here at Loxton Oval. 4-1 to 3-7, 25 points apiece.
Yep, the Value Care scoreboard attendants doing a great job as always. Rowe, he couldn't quite pick it up, and then he does. Handballed and was held onto it. And then Drugamullah tried to get it, and we'll get another ball up. Grandstand side.
Drugamalla's upped his game a bit this quarter, become a bit more fierce around the contest, and that was where Barmera were struggling a bit around the contest. Renmark were in control, but Barmera have wrestled back the ascendancy.
So back to the middle it is, and that's it. We'll have another ball up.
Stacks on the mill, as they say in the classics.
Getting a lot of stoppages this afternoon here at Loxton. But I guess that's how it rolls in a final. Yeah, it was Austin Thomas that got the kick away, went straight through Wesley.
With pace, Jack Albrecht tried to get through, and it's back up on his feet.
Tackle without it. Is that the call? Umpire says too high.
I reckon the umpire took his time to make that decision. It looked like incorrect disposal, but he did get one high.
Tap from... That's Thorpe, and umpire says in the back. That's a free kick to Wesley.
Yeah, that's there.
So 3-7-25 leads doesn't lead 4-1-25 scores a level.
Some undisciplined play there by the Rovers. 3 up for the mark. Down it comes. And of course Barmera had the ascendancy there, but couldn't take the ball out of the pack. It'll be another throw up. 25 metres out from the pool end goals, which Barmera are attacking.
This is 5 Room Football for the Riverland Motor Group. And that's about a minor score.
Yeah, that ball was taken out of the ruck by Jack Austin, who slammed it on his boot, but only for a behind, which gives them the lead, gives Barmera Monash the 1 point lead. Ball comes back in from Harry Beavis, takes a bounce, looks up, finds Bailey White this time at half-back. He shoots it out wide to Thorpe. No, it's not Thorpe. He's on this side of the ground.
Get my binoculars out and have a bit of a look.
He's got white boots on, Lockie. I've forgotten who that is already.
That's Harrison Brown.
Yeah, Thorpe's got white boots, but he's on this side of the ground.
Now it's Bailey White with the ball.
Comes back in. They still have not left their defensive 50. Oh, looks up, finds Dan Wolford, just the 15 metres away.
You'd say he's been a bit quieter than usual today.
Well, Spilios is winning that contest. Shoots it back out this time to Harrison Brown again at halfback. Yeah, this is where Renmark try and take the sting out of the game a little bit, slow it down a bit.
Now Harry Beavers with the ball, just in the back pocket. Drives it long, probably the right call. Not sure who the target is. No one able to mark it. There was Tim Blight there, but it spills out of bounds and will go again. Ball in.
Yeah, it's sort of a bit of a lull in proceedings a bit here. It's sort of so the pressure's gone out of it. Not the pressure, but the pace has gone out of it a little bit.
To coin a cricket phrase, the part-timers come on to take it to lunch.
Yeah, I think you're right. And they're just holding up their end, keeping it out. Here we go. Big hit forward by Middleton. Punched it 20 metres towards the goal. Renmark come away with it. This time Blight jams on his boot, but can only find Fraser Douglas in the middle. Straight up, moves it on quickly. Across the ground.
There's Thomas.
It's Thomas finds Drugamella all on his own at half forward, just inside 50. Will kick for goal right on the 50 line.
He's backing himself in to kick it. Probably the right call. Barmera and Monash are going to have to be good in the square here in case it does drop short. No breeze at all. This is a true 45-degree angle for this one.
And he'll kick it from right on the 50 line.
Gives himself a bit of an arc and then hooks it around. Looks good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Salutes the crowd and kicks the eighth goal of the game to take Barmera to a lead of 7 points, Lockie, in my book. Is that right?
I'll have a bit of a look in a second, but yes, I reckon you are correct.
Which is 5-1, 31, leading Renmark 3-7-25, a 1-goal lead, sorry.
1 goal is the difference. 21 and a half minutes gone. Second quarter Riverland footy on 5am for the Riverland Motor Group. Don't overlook vehicle servicing. Book in today. Barmera Club time clock ticking down to half time. Going to be there pretty soon.
Up it goes. Middleton hand on it first again. Vader gets a couple touches but can't get out of the middle with it. Albrick for Barmera gets a hand on it. Shoots it to Junkyard Jake Smith, who gets it across to Jamison Whitbourne. Shoots the ball forward.
Wellington on half forward. Hit the deck, and now Tim Wolford for the Rovers picks up and gets it on quickly. Fraser Sampson's there. He got his hands on it and then had a second crack at it. Inboard, Jake Smith, good mark, plays on. Still on the far wing up to half forward. Kick. Manages to find Beach. Beach, small little kick over the top and finds Dan Wesley right on the painted 50 in the far forward pocket.
A lot more system in Barmera Monash's play this quarter. They've used the ball. They've had it in their forward lines a fair bit of the play and kicked the goals that have brought them the lead.
Wesley
Lovely
from
kick.
The left forward pocket kicks to the square. It hasn't quite made the distance, and the Rovers clear it out as they do all too well. Now Dan Wolford handballs to Garrett. Garrett gets it on quickly, and I reckon Declan Johnson's going to try and run under this props and just goes back in board. Looking for Jenke.
3-on-1, Barmera Monash's favour. Not necessarily a good play there. Through the middle goes Whitbourne after getting the ball from Justin Bonney. Looks up for Smith. Intercepted by the veteran Thorpe. Has the run of the ball and has a player with him, which is Bailey White.
Kicks from 50. There's no one home.
Oh, hit the post.
Dropped short.
Took a and straight away Barmera Monash bring the ball out. Sampson takes the mark from the kick in. It's a 5-point lead here to Barmera. Look for Middleton. Middleton handball across, taps it across to Whitbourne. Up the ground it goes to line. To Dillon, sorry.
Inboard
turned over this time to Jenke from Renmark. Looks across the middle. Heaps of players there. Renmark playing themselves into trouble here. Out comes Jake Smith with the handball to Fraser Douglas. Handball to Justin Bonney, who finds Middleton on the wing, and he turns it over.
Yeah, Dan Wolford unable to pick it up. Picked up the second effort and then ran into a couple of players. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on that, but if you've had a second crack at it, should holding the ball be a bit quicker?
Notice the umpire motion to take the whistle to his mouth, but call play, I think the right call. Didn't insert himself. He didn't have to. Vader off the pack. Through he goes. Low kick towards Harrison Brown, I think, at half forward.
Certainly had a pretty solid quarter.
Yeah, couldn't break free. Look, in the sort of, you'd say, the dying minutes of the first half, Barmera trying to hang on. Renmark trying to attack to get that goal back. Through goes Butterworth up on the ball. Fates one way, Fates the other. Shoots the ball out wide. Drugamella knew where he was going and was out here for it on the wing. Looks up. Shoots it towards Wellington, who takes a strong mark at half forward.
Good mark from Mitch Wellington. Have the Roos got one last crack in them for this quarter? 31 plays 26 on the Value Care scoreboard. Gets it on inside the 50. Dillon was the player that had it, and he was holding the ball.
Yeah, plenty of time to do something with it, Fletcher Dillon. He's had a great first half of footy, the young fella, but couldn't break clear the tackle that time. It was wrapped up by Bailey White. Gets up. There it is, half time.
Sorry, you go. No, half-time on the Value Care scoreboard. It is 5-1-31, Barmera Monash leading the Renmark Rovers 3-8-26. We will go around the grounds and find out what's happening back in the Sideline View studio with Trevor Scott as we look at what is going to be a big second half here at Loxton.
2024 Riverland Football League Premiership season on fire.
Just ready to go there. Part 2 of today's proceedings. Lockie.
Thank you, Trevor Scott. 5-2-32 Barmera Monash. They lead the Renmark Rovers 3-8-26. It's certainly been a big afternoon of Riverland football so far, and we are getting very excited for the second half. Nobby Norton's alongside me. Nobby, team's now getting ready for the second half. Interesting first half.
Yeah, it was. Renmark had the better of the first quarter, taking a 10-point lead to quarter time. But Barmera Monash come out with all guns firing in that second quarter, kicking 4 goals 2 to the 1 goal 4. And you've got to be saying that Renmark had a couple of unlucky misses that quarter. One hit the post off a bounce, and Gillard had one touch through. But that aside, Barmera certainly took control of the game, and they took control of the game basically by moving the ball down the middle, and Chris Bonney became a factor for him at centre-half forward. Goal kickers for Barmera Monash, we've got John O'Beach with 2 goals, 2 out of 5. That's 40% of their score, which is more than his normal 28%, but the game's far from over. Other goal kickers, Ben Drugamon with 1, Fletcher Dillon with 1, and Chris Bonney with a goal in that quarter. For Renmark Rovers, Nick Gillard with 1 goal 2, could have been 3 goals. AJ Hem with a goal and Lucas White with a goal in that second quarter. Look, I'm really thinking here that whoever comes out and puts a bit of dominance on the game in the first 5 to 10 minutes of this quarter will go on and win. Renmark need to take control of the stoppages again. Barmera wrestle back control of the stoppages in that quarter, and mostly through the fact that their big men in Jack Austin and Mason Middleton certainly shadowed Caden Gardery, who was in there pretty much on his own, trying to hold up the large man department for Renmark.
Yeah, certainly was. Look, a couple of outs you mentioned before for the Rovers, probably more so Alex Haynes. He's been out for a few weeks now. We've also got out from today
Zach
Gardery. So 2 of their tallest pieces of tall timber out of the side.
And it showed up in that second quarter. They started off pretty good, got hold of the footy. Interesting to see how they will go around the contest in this quarter.
Cannot wait. This is 5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group. Second half underway here at Loxton. Winner through to the grand final and has a week off. Spilios now in the middle, but it's found Rowe for the Rovers. He turns and kicks it on quickly. Barmera Monash trying to claim the mark, but umpire says wasn't quite. I'll have it.
Yeah, Butterworth taking possession there, but not the ball not travelling 15 metres. Up it goes into Ruck, Middleton and Gardery. Ball comes out towards Wolford. Tim Wolford gets a hand on it and kicks it a mile into the forward lines. Will go through for yet another point for Renmark, taking their score to 3-9-27, trailing Barmera Monash 5-2-32 on the Value Care scoreboard.
So kick out from the Roos. Good kick and a good defensive mark there from Sam Butterworth on half back.
Yeah, started to have an impact on the game after quarter time, Butterworth.
Still no breeze to speak of at Loxton. Butterworth has his kick, had to go to a contest and it spilled out. Both teams scrobbling and fighting over it. Umpire says my ball. That was
Jenke working hard for that. And we did see the fact there is no breeze in that long goal that Drugamullah kicked just before half-time from outside the 50 at the swimming pool end.
So a ball up on the far wing. No one able to really get an advantage. And umpire just waits and says, yep, we'll go again.
Yeah, Tim Wolford doing a lot of work in there and under for Renmark, but cannot get the ball free of the Barmera Monash players who are working just as hard in there in those packs. Ball comes out wide. Barmera player taking the ball, tried to get it out towards Matthew Wilden, but that'll be another ball up.
5-run football for the Riverland Motor Group.
That was Drugamullah in hard. This time the ball comes loose to a Renmark player who drives it in long towards the goal square. Tall timber up. Barmera back on it quicker. Jared Rowe tries to get a handle on it, and that will be a ball up at the top of the kick-out square at the Renmark goals.
32 plays 27 on the Value Care scoreboard.
Everyone in around.
Tap to the pocket. Matt Wolford keeps it in board. He was wrapped up, holding the ball. That's the call. He took it on.
Yeah, he had plenty of opportunity. Wrapped up by Butterworth, who will take the free kick deep in the Barmera Monash back lines. Not hurrying into this, sort of taking his time, looking for a positional kick. Will come down the line, out onto the halfback flank.
So, Thorpe flew up, and that would have been the mark of the day for BTS Cooling, but it wasn't. Ball right in front of us now, Grandstad side, went straight through Jack Austin, but the Rovers managed to get their hands on this. Tim Wolford back inboard, finds Rover. Brody, now it's found Thorpe. Handball's inboard to Bailey White. White to the pocket, Gillard the target, it's missed, and that's gone out of bounds.
Yeah, not the best delivery into your key forward that, and got it in quick, but didn't give him any chance. It was a mongrel punt, went out of bounds. Sampson brings the ball in, finds Jack Albrick at halfback.
Jack Albrick just holding up for a sec. Just waiting for a bit of activity. Just on 3.5 minutes gone. Third quarter.
Chris Bonney is giving him something out wide, but he goes further to Jack Austin. Up goes Thorpe again. Can't get anywhere near it this time. Ball comes loose out of the pack. It was Gartery trying to get a clever tap over there from
that was Wesley.
Wesley comes out. Ball comes loose to Tim Wolford. Kicks an absolute chaos ball into the forward lines. Sitting under it, Justin Bonney. Couldn't get his hands on it. Ball comes out wide towards Jenke, who couldn't grab it first time. Shoots the handball forward towards
Hem tried to keep it in board, but he was bumped out of bounds, and we'll get a ball up. 15 around from the Rovers' goal. They look hungry early in this third quarter.
Yeah, Renmark open with a bit of intent here, but they need more than intent. They need scoreboard.
Well, Nobby, the 3:52 to Brighton's on its way. The bus is ready to depart the coach's bench for the Barmera Monash Roos.
Yeah, another 4 ready to come on, including the coach himself. Ball comes to White Bailey. Looks up, looks across the goals towards Perry, who can't get hold of it. Freeman and him have had a pretty tight contest where none of them have taken much effect. That was Dan Wolford, shot the ball out to Matt Wolford, who found Jenke on a long lead deep in the forward pocket on the swimming pool side.
Fire-room football for McDonald's Renmark, and make it McSmart with the new McSmart meal at Macca's.
As wide as he seems here, Lockie, this is not a bad place to have a shot from goal at the Loxton Oval.
Someone who's kicked multiple goals on this oval.
Multiple points.
Has his shot. Jeez, it's a good-looking kick, but it's missed to the short side. Minor score for the Rovers.
Seen some monumental goals kicked there. None more so than a classic by Greg Schmidt right back in the 70s, which won a game for the Tigers.
We must talk about the halcyon days of the Tigers one day.
Ball out wide to Barmera Monash. Through goes Spilios on his wrong foot, so handball's in front of himself, looking for a bit of room. Sorry, it wasn't Spilios, it was Jordan Freeman.
So a ball in on
also
the
a left
far
footer,
wing.
Also a left footer, which is why he didn't go onto his right leg on that wing.
The hockey club wing here at Loxton. Ball in. Middleton and Wolford in the ruck. It's the Rovers that get the kick away up towards their 50-metre arc. Now a little bit of chaos ball the other way, but a good mark from Matt Wolford. He read that off the deck.
Yeah, starting to get some important touches for the Rovers. Did a bit in the first half, but is starting to try and put his stamp on the game. Looks for Gillard on a long lead. Takes it in his hands in front of Saxton Mitchell. Fairway out from goal still, Gillard. Left footer, probably not necessarily in his favourite pocket. Boom.
On its way.
Knocks through for
over.
a point. Yep.
I tell you what, the bus is a bit late because there's 4 players that have been standing at the interchange gate for about 3 minutes.
That takes the score to Barmera Monash 5-2-32 to Renmark 3-11-29. 4 points, 3 points of difference here at the moment. Jack Albrick takes the mark at halfback for Barmera, looks up, shoots it across the middle to Justin Bonney, who gets on with it, shoots it out to the wing, and finds Beach a long way from home out there on the wing.
Just 3 points the margin.
Looking for someone, looking for Wilden, but chopped out by a couple of Renmark players.
Now the Rovers go back on the attack. Defensive pressure from Barmera evident.
The extra handball they didn't need there from Rowe. Should have got it on the boot.
Tried to go on the rebound through Chris Bonney, but it was intercepted, and the Rovers get a kick away. That has gone into orbit.
Get under that one. Actually, the player that kicked it, Jenke, got back under it. Ball comes loose, comes wide. This is Spilios on a run, down the wing, onto his left foot. Looks up, almost line.
Has his kick, and Wolford. Tim Wolford inboard to Matt Wolford, and finds Declan Johnson. Good link-up of kicks. So Dan Wolford into the attacking 50. Hem had to turn around because Gillard plays on. That is the goal of the day. He's had this award 3 times already this afternoon. He's making sure he doesn't leave Loxton without it.
Yeah, which brings Renmark back into the lead. On my book, Renmark now 4-11-35, leading Barmera Monash 5-2-32 on the Value Care scoreboard. And a pretty important goal to Renmark to get them back in the hunt.
Good presence of mind from AJ Hem there. Realised early that he wasn't the player the ball was coming to. Looked behind him to see what was happening rather than trying to go into the ball. And then realised the freight train Gillard was on the way. Buttoned out of that one because that's probably one person you don't want to run into.
Yeah, and plenty of space in that forward line. There was only 2 Renmark players up that end with their opponents, so a very open forward line.
Yeah, AJ Hem certainly getting into this game this afternoon. Very impressive. Back to the middle it is. It was Rowe that got his hands on it, but we'll go with the ball up.
And once again, the quick movement of the ball into the forward line's paying dividends. We saw Barmera do it in the second quarter. Renmark have come out with that on their agenda.
9 minutes gone on the Barmera Club clock. It's always time for the Barmera Club. Free kick to the Rovers in the middle, and that is Bailey White.
He's had a fair game, Bailey White. Looks Kicks up for Gillard again. This time a good spoil from Mitchell. Reached over, but the ball goes back to Gillard on his left foot, but cut out this time by...
That's Lyon.
Aidan Lyon. Shoots it out wide.
Finds Spilios in the back pocket.
That's where you want Spilios, deep in defence, because he can hurt you up around the middle.
Well, before this year, he was more of a back pocket sort of half-back flank. This year he's been a bit more mobile.
Down the line he comes. The ball comes out the back row first to get hold of it. Tries to break free. Couldn't get free. Shoots the ball free to Jack Austin. Slams it onto his left boot and kicks it out of bounds on the full. Right in front of the commentary position here at centre wing in front of the grandstand.
It's always unfortunate a clanger against your former side.
Yeah, Ricky Garrett to bring the ball back in for Renmark. But Barmera had plenty of time to get players back behind the ball.
10 minutes gone.
We'll have to go down the line. No, goes short. Finds Wolford yet again. This would be his 4th or 5th touch this quarter, Matt Wolford. And starting to really have an influence on the game. Goes short this time to Rowe. On a short lead, only just the 15 metres away in front of Junkyard Jake Smith. Rowe looks to go across.
Takes all the time he can, then just bombs it long. Gillard, get underneath that. Oh,
nice
good defensive mark from the Roos. Yeah. Just trying to see who that was, and that was Thomas.
Yeah, great mark from Thomas. Under pressure. Might get himself up into the marks of the day, I think, for that one.
Yeah, the mark of the day for BTS Cooling. Takes the footy wide. Not a best kick. The Rovers might have another crack at this one.
It's a lot like the first quarter, isn't it, when the Rovers had a lot of the ball forward, but didn't really put it on the scoreboard. This time, at least they put one goal on the board, but they'll need to do a little bit better than they did in the first quarter, with only 2 goals, because Barmera can score quickly. This time, Austin out of the pack finds, I reckon it's Wesley, is it? No, it is Wilden.
Wilden has his kick. Up to half forward. Oh, and Trevor Thorpe with the big run through on the defensive punch out of bounds. And that's a defender of the day. Big moment.
It certainly is. And he's one of the hard workers for Hood's Agromotive, Lockie.
Sort of lifts a little bit for finals, Trev, doesn't he? Not saying he's had a bit in reserve this year, but maybe big game player.
Maybe the veteran's treating it like every game could be his final.
Oh, don't tell him he's a veteran.
Oh, I do. That's fine.
I know his workmates love it. I don't think he does.
Nothing wrong with that term, Lockie. What it does, what it actually says, it's a term of endearment because it says he's been around for that long and he's still going at such a high level.
Committed.
Have I talked me way out of it yet?
No, that's all right. No, it doesn't bother me. Ball up. Garrett read that well.
Lovely football from Garrett. Rode the bump, got the handball out. Through goes Dan Wolford. Couldn't get it back. Goes back for a second bite of the cherry and gets wrestled to the ground. That'll be a ball up.
Yeah, Lucas White, the target there, just a little bit too quick for it. unfortunately. So ball up on the far wing at Loxton. 12 and a half minutes gone. Third quarter Riverland footy on 5RM for McDonald's Renmark. Make it McSmart with the new McSmart meal at Macca's.
Anyone's game here at the Loxton Oval with only 3 points in it. 3-point lead to Renmark.
Oh, if the bus just left the station before the next one's about to rock up.
Yep, another
3 interchanges about to happen for the Roos.
Yeah, not a bad 3 about to come on either. Ben Drugamullah, Mason Middleton and Sam Butterworth. You'd want them out there, not standing there watching from the sidelines.
So, ball up on the far wing. Inboard, Jenke. Good read of the play. Handball's back. That was trying to find Morgan Edwards, I reckon. Gets the ball on quickly.
Bailey White, that was, on his left foot. Has had a great game today. He's provided a lot of drive off halfback for Renmark.
So we're going to get a ball in.
I'll tell you what, the difference between the two sides is Renmark don't like coming down the middle. Barmera will go either way. This time Dan Wolford, he does come across to the middle of the ground, looks up, ball comes loose from the pack. Barmera first onto it.
Yeah, Freeman just ran around it, unfortunately. Lyon tries to paddle it on. Yeah, Freeman trying to do the shepherd.
Yeah,
good
nice
tackle from AJ Hem, but it's Jordan Freeman that was fortuitous with the bounce. Picked it up. Gets a kick away to Wesley on the grandstand wing. Goes inboard. Looking for Bonnie. Good mark. Couple of bites at it, but managed to rake it in.
A factor for Barmera since quarter time.
Kicks,
the avenue forward.
Kicks to the left pocket, just on the 50 arc. That was Wellington. Inboard to Beach. Beach centres the ball, and a good bit of play. Finds Fletcher Dillon. 40 out on a 10-degree angle.
Yeah, lovely assist there by Beach. Couldn't pull in the mark, but was the first back onto the loose ball and didn't waste his kick. Found Fletcher Dillon, who will shoot for goal from about 45 metres out on a very slight angle. Has already kicked a goal today. Can he kick another?
Would have thought this would be within range. He's pretty confident.
He's given it a fair ride. Distance won't be the problem. Neither will accuracy.
That's a lovely kick. Fletcher Dillon
kicks his second goal and kicks Barmera Monash's sixth goal to take him to 6-2-38 and wrestle back the lead from Renmark 4-11-35. 3-point lead now to Barmera Monash on the Value Care scoreboard.
Yeah, lead changing quite a few times this afternoon here at Loxton.
The game is just ebbing and flowing, Lockie.
That's what we like at Riverland Footy on 5RM for McDonald's Renmark. Umpire Matt Grummett with the ball in the middle, just doing the quick check of the 6-6-6, make sure everyone's in their right spot.
Yeah, the A-team back in for Barmera, Drugamullah back in the middle, and Middleton back in. But Gartery wins the hit out, goes back for it, and gets penalised for a throw. Yep. So the free kick will go to Ben Drugamullah in the middle. The big fella did everything he could to try and get that ball forward, except for hit it with the fist. Oh, a nice little shove forward on Blight there by Beach, who ended up coming out with the ball. Handball's out.
That's Austin inside the 50. Now Douglas paddles it out. Albrecht got a hand on it, but it bounced through. Now Caden Gartrey gets another loose hand at it. Lucas White back inboard to Steve Carlon. Out to Matt Wolford. He went back inboard, got a handball away. Couple of quick handballs there, and the Rovers somehow get away with it.
Oh, nice work
now
by
up to
Perry there.
Half forward. Harrison Brown dived on it, and we'll get a stoppage. Half forward for the Rovers.
That was clever football there by Rhett Perry at centre half forward for Renmark. They had him outnumbered 2-on-1, but he got hand to ball and got it to the ground. Up it goes on the half forward line for Renmark. Out of the pack, Tim Wolford in ruck. Grabs the ball, gets it onto his left and kicks a sky ball. Fraser Sampson.
Oh, it's calling it for high, but umpire says play on. Bit of late contact there.
I reckon Fraser might be the first entry we got for the Oscar today, because that was nowhere near him and he tried to make it look like it was.
So a ball up, 50 out. Just on 50, Caden Gartrey taps down, finds Vader. Vader bombs it long into attack. Now AJ Hem, good
nice
tap
touch
forward. Lucas White, he was going a bit quick for it and ran over it. The Roos, now Rowe.
No, he's missed.
Jarrett.
He's missed.
That was the goal of the year.
Yeah, that would have been drop the mic. We're off home.
Oh no. Oh well. Good behind nonetheless.
Another handy point. They're now only trailed by 2 points, 6-2-38 to 4-12-36. You'd say a bad kicking's bad football, but that was pretty good football, just wasn't rewarded.
It's been a long afternoon for the Rovers in the behinds department.
Yep.
Nonetheless.
Bit like the previous game where the boot was on the other foot, Loxton with the accurate side in the seconds and come away with the spoils.
Barmera Monash with the kick out. Fletcher Dillon, handball over the top, and that's Butterworth back in board. Now up the line to Douglas. Douglas, good mark.
Starting to get some possessions on that wing and be a bit of a factor for him.
So Douglas now kicks it inboard, finds Jamison Whitbourne. He's going to get the mark. He was a bit of a late push.
He's had a pretty solid game, Jamison Whitbourne, giving him something across half forward. Always a contest at the ball.
So Whitbourne now tries to centre the footy and finds Jack Austin in a bit of space just on the 50 arc at the top. That's a wobbly old kick into 50. Anspatch has been paid the mark. Well, he's been holding on, but he's going to get the mark defensive.
That was good play by Anspatch. He got position, held it, and took the mark even though he's been held by the Guernsey. Shoots the ball across to Tim Blight. Half back.
38 plays 26 on the Value Care scoreboard. Blight kicks to the scoreboard.
Oh, a lovely
flank.
little mark out there. I thought I would nearly have called that one up to Steve Kalon out there, but he couldn't quite grab it for long enough, and it will be a boundary throw in.
Just on 19 minutes gone. Third quarter. This game anyone's. Winner through to the grand final.
It's on the Barmera Club time clock.
Loxton North, 2 weeks' time. Who's going to get the week off?
Well, you think they'll both be back there? You're writing off Wakery and
no, I'm
Loxton.
not writing him off. I'm saying who from this game will be there.
Good save, Lockie.
Is it going to be sailing at Lake Bonnie next Saturday, or is it going to be park run for the Rovers?
There's a bit of a mongrel kick into the forward lines, but Renmark with plenty behind the ball. Look to clear it. Handball from Vader. Comes clear. Out to Tim Wolford again. Couldn't get a clear kick away, and that'll be another boundary throw in, this time on the half forward line in front of the scoreboard for Barmera Monash, going towards the Bookpenong Road end. The flour mill end it was back in the day, Lockie.
Yep. Homing Pigeon Club pocket. Shout out to the Loxton Homing Pigeon Club. They do a great job.
Ball not quite coming out of the pack this time. Vader gets hold of it and kicks it, but kicks it straight back into the pack. And so there'll be another ball up. Right on the forward 50 for Barmera Monash.
Speaking of, the Loxton show's only a few weeks away. Nobby, this is a big place for that day. 2 days. The Rovers with the clearance, driving into the middle. Now Dan Wolford gets a kick away. He was under pressure, just kicked to space. Caden Gartrey tried to run onto it at full tilt, but he shoveled it forward about 20 metres. Handballs over the back and wrapped up. We'll have a ball up in the middle.
Matt Wilden sprinting to the boundary line to let Junkyard Jake Smith back on. That's the quickest I've seen Wilden move all day.
Yep, Jake's coming into the middle there. No one's going to know where he is, and he's going to watch this. He'll get this in about 20. Oh, no, it was about to run for him. The Rovers now into their attacking 50. It's Jenke, 1 versus 2. He manages to shake his opponent. Handballs to Brown. Brown, kick it, goal. And that's a minor score or out of bounds. That's rolled out. Nothing.
Yeah, hurried himself when I don't think he really had to there. It's fine to hurry yourself and play on with it if you're Nick Gillard, where you know where the goals are, but not everyone's Nick Gillard.
Too true. Barmera Monash with the kick out, and there he is, Jake Smith. Mark on half back. Kicks into the centre square. Douglas, good mark under pressure, and 25 metres.
Yeah, a little bit late there, a little bit late to the party, Dan Wolford, but made him earn it.
He got the mark and the cashback bonus at the same time.
Drives it forward on the right. Clears the pack to Beach, but off hands. Beach with the kick at goal. Does a banana. Gee whiz, Lockie. Gee whiz, Lockie. There's your goal of the day. There is your goal of the day.
You can't split them. It's a shootout between the top 2 goal scorers for the year. They both want the goal of the day trophy. They're putting on a pretty good show.
Yeah, that's Beach's 3rd goal and the best of his 3 goals. And once again, Barmera have put 2 in a row on the scoreboard like they did in the second quarter, and starting to get a little bit of an ascendancy here as they go to 7-2-44, leading Renmark Rovers 4-12-36. Probably their biggest lead for the day, the Roos.
Yeah, it would be.
Beach doesn't need to get many to make an effect on the game. That's 3 goals out of 7, so he's well above his average of 28% of their score. Out it comes, this time across to Vader. A little bit slow to get on his boot, but gets it on. Rowe takes the hit out. Vader back, gets the ball off hands.
Oh, tackle without it was Vader, and that's a free kick every day of the week.
I think he felt the pressure coming and got rid of it quick, because he didn't get it to anyone, just got rid of it before he got tackled. Look, he's 50 metres out. Is he a chance?
Yeah, I'd back him from here.
Not sure if he's got the wheels here.
He's looking a bit of a... Oh, lovely. Sells the dummy and finds...
Jenky, I reckon.
Matt Wolford.
Matt Wolford?
Yeah, Matt Wolford, the captain of the Rovers.
That was interesting play there by Vader, because he was up against Barmera Monash coach in Fraser Sampson.
He just took the GST off that kick. He's going to be about 10% less in distance.
Here we go. There's the siren. So you'd have to say this is an important goal.
The kick was going to be from 50. Now it's going to be from 40. Matt Wolford on three-quarter time. They trail by 8. Oh, 25-metre penalty. I'm not sure if the Roos were saying a little bit too much. A bit chatty out there.
Yeah, and you know who it was? I think it might have been the coach.
And that is a 25-metre penalty, so this should be a gimme now for Matt Wolford. This will be straight in front, now kicking from 20 metres out.
Yeah, you've got to be careful when you're playing footy. Umpires have the best ears. They've got better ears than your wife.
You wonder what was getting said out there. Wolford kicks it, and the Rovers are now back to a 2-point deficit at three-quarter time. We have a game on our hands here in the second semi-final. It's 7-2-44 Barmera Monash, Renmark Rovers 5-12-42. We cannot wait for the final quarter. Trevor Scott in the Connectus Sideline View Studio.
Quite a few rushed through, so don't let the scoreboard trick you. Goal scorers for both sides: John O'Beach with 3 goals, Fletcher Dillon with 2 goals. Had a great game, Fletcher, and singles to Drugamulla and Chris Bonney for Renmark. the goals to Nick Gillard, 2 goals, Matthew Wolford a goal, AJ Hem a goal, and Lucas White a goal. Bailey White's had a fair bit of the ball. There's a whole lot of good players, but fortunately for both of us, Lockie Dan's going to work out the 3-2-1 at the end of the game.
Of course, the Murray Pioneer Man of the Match Award. Cannot wait to see what happens with that one this afternoon.
Yeah, but look, this game, and as you said, there is no scoring end other than maybe the pool end has been where most of the goals have been scored. However, we saw that goal of John O'Beach's from the right forward pocket on the banana kick. Can I call it check side? Can we go that far back to the
check side? I like it.
Days check side kick was a cracking goal. So basically, you can kick goals from anywhere. But looking at Renmark, you can kick points from anywhere as well.
Too true. Sammy Jericho was at the 3/4 time address for the Rovers. Sam, have we got a copy?
Yes, we do. Great to be back with you. You couldn't have said it better at the start, Nobby. It's the battle between the coaches, and Vader has the upper hand at the moment in my eyes. Fraser Sampson has been very quiet. But True said, you look at the scoreboard at the moment, and the points are racking up for Renmark, and it's paying costly coming into this last quarter.
It certainly is. Sam, we'll speak to you in a second, but just what was the big thought, the big message for that quarter time address that you heard?
Obviously, line up the goals, and we want to see less points on the scoreboard, obviously.
Is that you? Or, was that you or the coach?
I was Vader.
Great stuff, Sam. Back in the way. Fourth quarter is now underway here at Loxton this afternoon. It is a big 25 minutes of footy we can expect. It's rushed to the boundary line. Spilios and Rowe were racing for it, but it's gone out of bounds, and Spilios is going to get the free kick for the Barmera Monash Roos.
You know how they often say the first goal is the most important one? I reckon every goal is going to be important in this last quarter. And the way those two...
Whoa! Lucas White flew up for the mark, and unrealistic attempt, and that's a free kick.
And that'll be a free kick to Junkyard Jake Smith on the centre wing right in front of us.
Yeah, made a pretty good step ladder there.
Yep.
Ball now up to half forward for Barmera Monash. Renmark need to get the kick away, and that was Vader. He was chased down, holding the ball. Great work there from Wilden.
Wilden waited for him to get it and then hunted him down to get that free kick. So he's already around. Umpire's allowed him to come around heaps. Now it's play on. Goes back onto his right foot, shoots it forward with a 7-iron, and Beach gets first bite of it but couldn't bring it in. Round it comes to Bailey White. He's had a great game of... That will be a ball.
White out of bounds, and that's going to be...
Look, I'm a bit confused because the boundary ump had already blown it as out of bounds. Then the field ump blew his whistle after that and said holding the ball. I think the field ump's inserted himself in the play there. Play on.
Back to Drugamulla, and that's going to go out of bounds again. So Rovers with the free, deep in defence.
Out it comes. Half back down the line towards Gillard. Need in the back, pushed under the ball. Out it come towards Butterworth, who can't get a handle on it. Just looking at a couple of the matchups here, I think Rowe has been assigned to run with Butterworth this quarter, try and curb his influence a little.
Yep, good luck shaking that one, Sam.
Yep.
He's probably the original tagger in the RFL. Good tap forward from Middleton.
Out it comes to
the
Garrett.
Rovers to get the clearance. Garrett up to half forward. Not a push, wasn't paid. Lyon manages to find Freeman back inboard to Mitchell. They're under pressure. Barmera Monash in defence. Now the Rovers.
Gillard breaks free from the pack, turns onto his left foot, looks up and finds Rowe at half forward, 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Spoke before about Trevor Thorpe lifting for the big games.
This bloke
Jared
does.
Rose, another one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give him 3 votes today towards the 5RM medal. I don't know what the tallies are because they were put in the safe a couple of weeks ago.
They're in a safety deposit box at one of the remaining bank branches that is open in the Riverland.
But big game player, like you said.
Row on the way. He's given it a wobbly old kick over the back.
Hasn't gone through.
Hasn't made the distance.
Gillard first onto it, turns onto his left. Unfortunately, could not get a disposal, so he's been pinged for incorrect disposal. And Barmera will take the free kick deep in their defence.
That probably got out of that one all right,
Justin
Barmera
Bonney
Monash.
to bring the ball back into play for Barmera Monash. Comes up the line towards his brother Chris. who's with the opposing ruckman.
That was Garrett that tried to run through that, but not play on it. Umpire says my ball. So ball up it is. 60 out from the Rovers' goal. That was Gartrey that tapped in board. Butterworth picked it up, but he was wrapped up as soon as he got it.
I've got to be thinking that if you're a Renmark coach, you've told him don't finesse with it so much. One handball and get on with it. Here we go, out to Rowe again. Gets it onto his left foot. Spilios couldn't quite take it. Picked up and
Jenky,
snapped by.
Great mark.
That was Dan Wolford. That was really good play by Wolford. He just stuck the ball up there where Jenky could run onto it. And Jenky has moved the ball across. I reckon he's got...
that's Trevor Thorpe.
Trevor Thorpe. Gee whiz. Not sure if I'd be having too much of the mortgage on this.
No.
I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but I don't reckon Trevor Thorpe's had a season where he's kicked more than a handful of goals.
You're doing the reverse commentator's curse here.
I am.
Yeah, I like it.
You're on to me. You're on to me.
Yeah.
Important kick at goal.
50-50 at best.
He likes it. No, he doesn't.
Oh, that's a minor score. A minor score for the Rovers. They now trail by 1 behind. 44 plays, 43 on the Value Care scoreboard.
Barmera moving the ball out of attack. Renmark sort of dropped off that, and the ball's come out down the middle to Jordan Freeman. Renmark sort of lost their concentration a bit there.
Going sideways.
Barmera moving him around a bit, around the ground a bit here, trying to sort of throw him off balance. Thorpe comes up onto his defence there, and that mark's been taken out wide by. I reckon it's Wesley, is it? Whitbourne. He's had a good game, Jamison Whitbourne.
Down the line it goes. Middleton over a market, but Spilios over the back. He's got a couple of metres spare. Plays on. Kicks into the attacking 50. Good defence from the Rovers. Punch forward. And that was...
Hit first time by Harry Beavis and hit out of bounds.
Yeah, he gave that one a boot and it went out of bounds. So Wildens with the free. He's got the ball 80 around from goal.
Barmera have looked a lot more dangerous when they've come forward with a bit more method than Renmark.
AJ Ham just coming off for a quick rest.
Short kick into Jake Smith. 15 yards away from Whitbourne. He looks up. Oh, shoots it back towards Matthew Wilden. He couldn't take the mark in. Handballs back to Smith, who looks up, and that has hit Jono Beach on the chest.
3 goals already today.
It cleared Middleton and his opponent, and Beach was third to the ball, hit him right on the chest. Easy, uncontested mark.
7-2-44 lead Renmark. 5-13-43 Beach with footy in hand.
He's kicked 3 goals already today. 3 of the 7.
From a fair angle. 45 out. On the boot.
Missed.
That's a minus score.
I think it might be his first miss of the day, but takes the margin out to 2 points in Barmera Monash's favour. 7-3-45 leads 45 leads Renmark 5-13-43. 2 point lead into Garrett. Comes the ball from Matt Wolford. Goes out wide towards Brown. Harrison Brown on the halfback flank, right on the 50-metre line. Halfback goes short for White. That's White Lucas at halfback. Renmark not wanting to give the ball back, but they've had 4 possessions and are yet to clear the defensive 50. Back to Harrison Brown, deep in the 50.
So Renmark just holding up station for a sec here. They've still got plenty of time. Only 7 minutes gone on the Barmera Club clock this quarter.
Not sure if this is the way to score, though. I mean, quick movement of the ball through half-back and through the middle has resulted in scores for both teams.
25-metre penalty is paid. Over the mark was Barmera Monash.
Yep.
So Barmera Monash supporters not real happy about it, Lucas White tried to do it again.
He tried to draw
Smart
another
move.
25 there out of Jack Albrick, but the umpire keen to what was going on.
I like it.
Shoots the ball across to his brother.
Now
Bailey White, Lucas shot it across. Now they switch play. Goes across towards Harry Beavis. He's come up from the back line. Looks out wide, but sets Trevor. No, it wasn't
that's
Thorpe.
Brown.
Brown
turns, kicks on quickly and finds a teammate on the 50 in Declan Johnson.
That's good football. They have not let Barmera touch the ball, and they're inside their own 50.
Kicks into the attacking 50. Gillar the target, but he was shadowed by a heap of Barmera Monash roos, and that's on the deck. We'll get a ball up, 20 out from goal.
It's really been Renmark's modus operandi all day. Get that chaos ball in, get it on the ground and try and hit it hard and create a scoring opportunity.
They've been watching the Regan Kruger, Rory Maroney,
The Berry
textbook on
Demons.
kicking goals, haven't they?
Maybe they got hold of their playbook.
I like it.
Up it goes again in the forward line for Renmark. First hand on the ball to Renmark Ruckman. No one can get out of the pack with it. It will be another ball up. This time about 25 metres out from goal. Renmark's goal in the at the Berry Road end.
Well, in Barmera Monash's defence, they lost a game to Berry with the Chaos Ball.
Yes.
They were on the receiving end of the Chaos Ball.
In the Fisher Cup.
Yeah, we saw that firsthand.
And it worked well. Still plenty of game to go here, Lockie. How far are we? Eight and a half minutes
just
into
on
the quarter?
about 9 minutes ticking down on the Barmera Club clock. Back in board. Barmera Monash boom it out of their defence, but it's gone straight to Vader for the Renmark Rovers. Just holds up for a sec, but then gets on quickly. Kicks to the pocket. Gillard, the target, gets a hand on it, but he was unable to mark it, and they all dive on it.
Vader had a couple of shorter options there, but decided to go long and put the ball into a spot where it could do the most damage. Up it goes. Through the pack comes Jenke.
Oh, Mitch Jenke. Take a bow. The Rovers have hit the front.
Tell you what, he might have just wrestled the goal of the day, the very better goal of the day, away from Jono Beach. Because not only has that been a pretty classy goal from a pack play, but it's been a pretty important goal in that it's given Renmark back the lead. 6-13-49 leading Barmera 7-3-45 on the Value Care scoreboard.
That could be the Value Care scoreboard. Big moment right there. He took the opportunity, Mitch Jenke, got it on the boot as quick as he could, and it went through a heap of players. And
certainly a big moment.
Big goal.
But I'm sure there's a few moments to come yet.
10 minutes gone on the Barmera Club clock. Ball back in the middle. The Hoods Agri-Motive Hardest Worker Award. Going to be a hard one to split this afternoon. Ball up. Now back onto it. Barmera Monash. Jake Smith. Sockers along the ground to Wilden. Wilden out to Bonnie. Bonnie to the pocket. Looking for a target in Wellington, but it manages to find Whitbourne. Whitbourne turns. Snaps. That's a
out in the full. That's
missed
gone
a
out
lot.
in the full, yeah.
A little bit inspired by what we just saw. He had a bit of time there.
Yep. On comes the A team for Barmera, or one of them anyway, in Mason Middleton, and we've got Sam Butterworth and Ben Drugamiller waiting their turn.
So a ball in on the way here at Loxton this afternoon. 45 plays 49.
What a game.
Winner through to the grand final. Tim Wolford clears it out. Manages to find Jenke.
The player of the moment at the moment, having a purple patch.
Big second half against Jenke.
I thought he was solid early, gave him a route to go in the first couple of quarters, but he's actually, he's got some wheels, Lockie. He's moved up and down the ground, doing it at both ends. Ball comes back to Harry Beavis at half-back. Renmark not keen to even give Barmera a chance of getting this back. Chipping it around again. Here they go. Wide it goes, this time to Thorpe. Or is it?
Just get the binoculars out and have a bit of a look. Bit of a distance here at Loxton. Inboard to Beavis on half-back.
Yeah, it was Thorpe.
Now Bailey White gets it on quickly. Smothered by Wesley. Jake Smith tries to pick it up, but White managed to pick up the mess and get a kick away anyway. To the far wing. Couple of hands.
Oh, what a mark.
No one's paid it, but it would have been.
3 bites of the cherry. I thought that's from here. We're a long way away, but that's a mark to me. But never mind. Have to watch it on the replay.
This is 5-run football for McDonald's Renmark, and make it McSmart with the new McSmart meal at Macca's.
Umpire's a lot closer than me, and it's no case for me to insert myself from this side of the ground, is it?
Matt Wolford gets the kick away from the contest, but it went as far as Aidan Lyon of the Barmera Monash Roos on half-back.
He's been solid there all day.
Just a consistent performer, Aidan Lyon.
Oh, turned it over, and who comes through but Dan Wolford? You can't give him a chance like that. And here he is, Rhett Perry.
Must have
been touched off boot.
Handballed over the back to Lucas White. He props. Now finds Jenke, the man of the moment. Kicks to the pocket. Gillard, can he mark it? No. Shovels it forward, keeps it in board. Manages to pick that one up and just goes to ground.
Do you know, Nick Gillard's almost more dangerous when he doesn't take the mark and gets it on ground and is first to it.
Saxton Mitchell's had a fair game on Gillard this afternoon, all things considered.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's only kicked 2-2, but the game's not over yet.
That's what I mean. It could be a lot more dangerous. Now Lucas White looks to centre the footy. Got Declan Johnson. Gillard, they all flew up.
Almost a pack mark there to Gillard.
No one claiming that one. No one paid.
Sam Butterworth sneaking back onto the ground. And we've got Harry Beavis all the way up from full back, going to pick him up.
So ball up, 25 out from the Rovers' goal. Loose footy. Tim Wolford gets the hands out to White. White snaps in the square, touched. He had Harrison Brown in the square. He had a couple of bites at it, but that's gone through for a minor score.
Taking Renmark to 6 goals, 14, 50 points, leading Barmera 7-3, 45 on the Value Care scoreboard. Ball coming out from the kick-in, and that has gone across without anyone touching it. And who should get the free kick? Josh Vader. He will go to the goal square. No, looks up, shoots it back. Comes in the back play this time to White. He'll go back here on the forward flank. No. Waiting for an opportunity. Bang. Towards the big fella from Barmera, Mason Middleton, who lopes across in front of the pack and pulls down a strong mark. Looks up, shoots the ball this time to Fraser Douglas. Once again, short kick to Fraser Sampson.
Now ball moving through the middle. What are we going to see here? Free kick.
I think 25 metre for the attention after he took the mark. Shoots the ball across to Butterworth. You're a Renmark coach. How can you let Butterworth run around on his own with 5 minutes to go in the last quarter when you're only 5 points up? Let him run around and just take possessions at will. He's got it back again, Butterworth. This time Vader at least comes across and stands the mark.
Not getting possessions at will today, Butterworth, but everything he touches is pretty important.
Lovely
kick. A couple of bites at it, but not paid.
It hit the ground before he could get it back.
That was Wellington. Now Barmera Monash through the middle.
Spilios, is it?
It was Austin Thomas.
Do you know, classic case there with the Renmark player. Got to look at the belly button. The belly button never moves. The player was moving the ball over him, but he wasn't moving his belly button. You're going to tackle him? Tackle the belly button.
So Matt Wolford deep in defence with the kick out for the Rovers. Looks for Edwards, but it drops short, and that's spilled over the boundary line, and we'll get a ball in.
Yeah, are Renmark starting to fade, condition-wise?
Oh.
Barmera looked like they've just turned it up another notch here.
They are pretty fit. 6:14.50, Renmark leading Barmera Monash 7:4.46.
Butterworth.
Dylan from the pocket. Misses the lot.
Marked by Tim Blight in the back pocket. He looks up, has a player running for him, and it's Lucas White out on the wing. Takes the mark out at half back.
Tell you what, Lucas and Bailey White won't be dropping in the fitness department in this last 5 minutes.
No, they won't. And it's no surprise that they have had possessions in the last 5 minutes either. They keep pushing up.
Justin Bonney on the far wing with the intercept mark for the Roos. Gets
up.
It on quickly to half forward. Punch forward. There's only 5 points in this ball game. Inboard, Drugamola tries to run under it. Oh, Smith shakes the tackle.
The old don't argue.
Now they're through the 25 out from goal. Umpire says play on. Non-controlling umpire has called a free kick here. And that's going to be a free to Barmera Monash. 25 out, directly in front for a dangerous tackle.
Gee whiz, the umpire was 45 metres away and inserted himself in the game like you've never seen. But he's out there and we're up here.
So Wildens with the free kick. Tim Blight just asking what that might have been for.
It really doesn't matter. It's going to be on the scoreboard.
A 5-point margin. They trail.
Could become a 1-point lead.
Barmera Monash. Wilden has his kick.
He misses.
Miss. Ooh.
Costly miss.
46 plays 50 on the Value Care scoreboard.
17 and a bit minutes gone on the Barmera club clock, but that's without time on. That's playing time. So still plenty of time left in the game. You have to say the next goal becomes really significant because if Renmark get it, you might say they have enough to protect. If Barmera get it, straight back in the game. Nice mark taken. Thomas, is it?
Thomas inboard finds Middleton on his own. Directly in front, 45 out.
Couple of big marks by Middleton in this last quarter, and as they say, the big fellas don't get any shorter in the last quarter.
So Mason Middleton decides against kicking for goal and goes inboard. That was punched forward. Probably should have had a crack at the goal himself. And now Tim Wolford for the Rovers bombs it out of there, puts it in front. Run onto that one. That was Lucas White, AJ Hem wraps it up.
Yeah, clever tackle by him there, because it would have been easy to give away a high tackle, but he didn't. He went low. Hem went low. Managed to wrap him up. Here's a ball up.
So a ball up on the far wing. Middleton pushes forward.
Dan Wolford first to it.
Runs onto it. Manages to find Bailey White inboard to Anspatch. Anspatch looked for Brown, but it was intercepted. That was Whitbourne. Now back inboard.
Gillard taking the mark. Plenty up from the ground. Looks across. There's an overlap here. Renmark have one out the back.
Finds Rhett Perry on his own in the pocket.
The big fella. Jenky's in this if he turns around. No.
Oh.
High tackle. Yeah, you can see it from here. Barmera player having no option.
It was Aidan Lyon. He went for that late spoil.
Back onto the ground comes Vader and Renmark veteran Trevor Thorpe. Ricky Garrett waiting his turn. So you think this will be the last rotation of the Renmark players, and on comes the experience.
A 3-point ball game. 50 plays 47.
Gee, this will be one heck of a goal if he manages to steer this through the big white ones.
Lucas White on a far angle. Distance won't be an issue. Goes the drop punt. And that's hit the behind post.
Out of bounds, so that'll be a boundary throw, and that's better than conceding a point there, because they get another opportunity to score instead of Barmera having the opportunity to clear the defence.
About to hit not time on. 20 minutes all but gone.
On the
ball in.
Barmera club time clock.
Still in Renmark's attack, but Barmera Monash clear it out. Couple of quick handballs, and now they move it down the line through Dillon. Looks for Austin.
Oh, nice mark.
Good mark on the grandstand wing.
Good kick too.
Austin's got to move
Dillon.
this one on quickly.
I know Lockie Dan's not far away from me, but gee whiz, young Fletcher.
Oh, great mark from
young
Mitch
Fletcher
Wellington.
Dillon's got to be in these considerations.
And that could be a mark of the day contender for BCS Cooling.
Yeah, Wellington maybe not had a lot of it, but had some important touches. Ball goes high towards the Barmera goal square, and there he is.
John O'Beach.
And there he is.
Marks it 15 metres out.
I'm putting this one in the scoreboard already, Lockie.
He's kicked 3 already.
Kicked 3, goal 1 on my scorecard.
Barmera Monash supporters pretty happy to see John O'Beach back in their side this year.
This might be the moment.
Quite the journey in football. A Sandford Premiership, a stint at the Adelaide Crows, and now back at the Lakeside with a goal. Three points the margin.
Barmera Monash 8-5-53, leading Renmark Rovers 6-14-50, with time on already begun. So we'd be thinking 3 or 4 minutes left of playing time.
Less than 3 minutes to go, I would have thought.
Yep.
Still chance for the Rovers. They're going to have to be quick.
Yep, going to have to clear this, and they had their opportunity that end. I can't help but look at young White's shot at goal from an almost impossible angle. He maybe could have done something a little bit better with that.
Cloud's starting to roll in a little bit here. I don't think there's any rain in it, but not quite as bright as it was.
It's been a fantastic game of football here at the Loxton Oval.
Back in the middle. Have the Rovers got one last crack in them? That was Garrett. He was taken to ground. Umpire says, my ball. Garrett had his arms pinned then and was straight on the deck.
I noticed Tim Wolford motioning towards the umpire to say he thought it was a dangerous tackle. Speaking of Tim Wolford, here he is. Caught one high but went back after it. Shoots the ball out.
Oh, Josh Vader.
Vader gets it high and long. Oh, lovely play by Justin Bonney there. Managed to hold Declan Johnson off the ball. Took a nice solid mark. Shoots it out wide to Ben Drugamuller. This is where the Barmera experience will come into it now. Everyone's cleared his patch. Left the space for Jamison Whitbourne to run into. Kick comes down the line to the big fella.
There it is.
It's out in the full. There's the siren.
Full time. That was a quick quarter. 22 and a half minutes. Barmera Monash go make their second grand final in a row. It's all things going rosy at Queen Elizabeth Drive, Barwell Avenue, the Camp Terrace, you name it. It's all happening at the Lakeside. 6-14-50. That was Renmark. They trail Barmera Monash. 8-5-53.
Good game of footy.
Absolutely.
And might not be the last edition of this clash, this rivalry we see this year.
For the Rovers, it'll be a second appearance in a prelim final in a week's time. They'll take on the winner of tomorrow's game. But a game that had just about everything. Lead changes, spectacular goals, the whole bit.
Yeah, goal scorers for Barmera Monash. Jono Beach with 4. Fletcher Dillon with 2 singles to Ben Drugamulla and Chris Bonney. For Renmark, Gillard with 2 singles to Matt Wolford, AJ Hem and Lucas White. And I've missed one other in there somewhere.
I'm sure we can wrap it up pretty quickly with our stats.
Mitchell Jenke was the other one.
Mitch Jenke, the last one in that last quarter. We'll go back to the Connectors Sideline View studio and we'll wrap things up here from Loxton very soon. But Barmera Monash in their second straight grand final. Trevor Scott.